As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Got to go OU baseball. Hadn't had a chance to talk about it. Hosting the regional. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. First round matchup with ORU, and then you've also got Duke and UConn in the mix as well. It's a strong regional. Duke is a really good team. They're stacked. They've got some really good arms, good pitching, a couple of all ACC players there throughout their lineup. Had a good record throughout the year. um, Duke's going to be a really tough out. If you can get through this regional, you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself.
And it wasn't that long ago when ORU beat OU.
Yeah. What was Skip's quote? Oh, are you? Well, they beat your ass last time you played them, which is so Skip. But I mean, it's true. It's a stacked regional. But if we get good play out of our starters, you should be in a pretty good spot.
What, first time since 2010 that OU's hosting a regional in Norman? I know people are disappointed that they weren't a top 8 seed. I understand that. It was a little
Yeah.
head scratching for me, but I'm not going to pretend I'm that dialed in to college baseball. I just it's all that most people thought they were going to be a top 8 seed, but I'm expecting an awesome atmosphere in Norman for these. They're doing all the cool stuff out in the outfield. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be. You're right. They got the tent set up out there on the berm. And I think you can get an all session pass out there fairly cheap if they still have them. But you're right. I haven't looked at the weather. Hopefully, we get good weather. And if that's the case, yeah, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have a great turnout out there. I mean, people started paying attention. Baseball's in a pretty good place.
Just a reminder, ORU made it to Omaha last year. Do you remember
Uh,
that?
that's yeah. Oh, that's
So
right. Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I bring that up is those guys are not going to. A lot of the guys on the team are going to understand like that pressure feeling, and they're not going to be scared of the moment. And I expect I expect the Sooners to rise to the occasion as well. But you look at this regional. A lot of people thought Duke could be a regional host. I, it's tough, man. It ain't easy at all.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's a good opportunity, and
Yeah.
I still feel like we've got a couple of really good starters. We've got a really good closer. I think it kind of depends. When you get into the tournament format stuff, if you could protect arms and kind of outlast people, and as long as our offense is clicking, which it's been pretty good lately, give ourselves a really good chance.
All right. Who do you have as your loser of the week?
I think walk-ons already kind of walk around on eggshells, a little nervous from day to day whenever they're walking around the football program, and not just at Oklahoma, everywhere. Probably a little more nervous now with this new House versus NCAA settlement. One of the things that's kind of been brought up in the wake of it, because you're going to have what, $20 million carved out revenue sharing to pay players. And there's been talk of limiting rosters, 85 scholarships, and boom, that's your cutoff right there at 85. And I think some walk-ons got to be pretty nervous about that, and rightfully so. The good news is down at the SEC spring meeting, spring get together, it sounds like every single coach across the board has been behind keeping the walk-on program going in college football, and I echo that. I think that would be a disaster for high school football. I think it's just overall would be horrible for college football to eliminate the walk-on program.
Yeah, it'd be stupid. And it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. Uh, those coaches are defending it because they know how important those guys are to conducting all of the practices.
Yeah.
I mean, that is why practicing the NFL and practicing college football are so different,
Yeah.
because you've only got 53 guys. Now you've got the practice squad guys as well, but when numbers are limited like that, there's some guys, especially key guys, that are banged up. It changes how you have to practice within the season. It just does. And I think a lot of college football coaches are looking to avoid that.
Yeah.
You have to have those bodies to get the reps, especially, and we'll see if spring ball ends up changing what that looks like moving forward. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the adjustments the NFLPA are trying to make to OTAs moving forward, basically just making it a longer training camp and going away from the stuff in April and May. But I don't think there's any way that walk-ons just disappear. I just can't imagine that happening.
No, I think it's critical for how a team functions, and I think it's critical, like for Oklahoma, especially since Venables has been back. What they've done with the walk-on program, and it they've made it a priority, and I think that drives interest, especially in your own state, back into the high school ranks that want to come play for you on a big scale, not just because you're a big program, but because they've seen non-scholarship kids come in, earn starting jobs, earn scholarships. Like there's more than one route to playing college football, and I think that's a good thing.
I'm with you. I just I don't think there's any way. Maybe. You never know.
I hope not.
I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
never know. Here's the thing though. I Not so much for Oklahoma, but for a lot of schools. I mean, you think about like I don't know, some of the teams maybe that were in the Pac-12 that's gone away, or the ACC who they're stuck into this revenue. I $20 million is a big deal. There's going to have to be some tough decisions made somewhere along the line. I don't think it's going to be walk-ons, but it's going to become much more difficult to run an athletic program.
no doubt. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, fellas, Father's Day is coming up on June 16th, and our friends at Manscaped have some excellent gift options for you to get your dad. Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code OKBreakdown. My dad's got a beard, and he desperately needed a trimmer upgrade, so I got him the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. It's the complete beard maintenance kit for all the bearded dads out there. This all-in-one kit comes with the Beard Hedger, that's Manscaped's most advanced beard trimmer, as well as shampoo, conditioner, oil, and balm for his beard. It also comes with a brush, comb, and scissors so he can style his beard and mustache. My mom will probably do that for him, but it is what it is. Fancy stuff. Now, maybe your dad isn't blessed with a luxurious beard. Well, you can get him some pairs of the Boxers 2.0. They were designed with a simple mission to make the most comfortable boxers using perforated performance fabric for extra breathability. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code OKBreakdown at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code OKBreakdown. Happy Father's Day from Manscaped.
And head to opolisclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLIS clothing.com. Use promo code TED, TED for 10% off. That's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
For my winner of the week, thought about going with the Florida Panthers. What, you thought I wasn't watching playoff hockey? Come on,
Little
Ted.
NHL for you.
Yeah. Win game 4 of the East Final there against the New York Rangers. Series all knotted up at 2-2. You got to love an overtime power play goal to win it. I don't know what the football equivalent to a hockey power play is, but a well-executed power play, Sam Reinhart just buries it. He's right there in the middle of what do you call it? The middle of the zone. I don't know what a power play. I don't know a ton of
He's
hockey
in the
lingo.
crease.
You can't be in the crease, Ted. Can't have your
Okay.
skates in the crease. I know the rules.
The
But
slot.
he's in the slot. I think that's what it's actually called. And just flawless execution. It was like watching a team run a beautiful zone running play from 15 yards out and score a touchdown. It was really nicely done. But yeah, playoff hockey's so much fun and got a
It
good one
is.
between the Rangers and the Panthers.
Yeah. Yep. That's good. And who knows? Maybe you got Dallas pulling the double, NHL, NBA double, getting a couple teams into the finals, perhaps.
It it looks very, very, very possible. Which brings me to my winner of the week, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Listen,
Hey.
I think the Mavs are going to win the series. I still like the Mavs in six, but I just appreciate the Timberwolves getting a win in game four so that we have some more basketball to watch. There was about to be a comically long break between the conference finals and the NBA finals. I mean, no matter what, NBA finals start on June 6th. So there was just going to be an absurd break between now and then. So I appreciate Anthony Edwards playing well, Karl Anthony Towns. Now he does some of the dumbest stuff. Like when it comes to fouls, like he just does so many stupid things, but he shot the ball extremely well. I appreciated them giving us something to watch. That and the Mavs not having Derek Lively, I felt like that was a pretty significant thing. It's hard to replace a guy with his size and energy. Did see Maxi Kleba back out there for him, but ultimately, Anthony Edwards, big shot in the final minute of the game. I I just I'm glad I get to keep watching those two teams play some games instead of just having an 8-day break.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad look if both conference finals are sweeps, right? It just
I don't think it's what you're going for if you're the NBA.
no, 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 no. It's not what you're going for. But hey, it's what we've got. And yeah, extend this thing a little bit, which, you know, I think I think the people that you expected the same thing to happen in the Celtics series, right? It's like, oh, they're not going to sweep them yet. I mean, that's they got to squeeze some money out of this thing. So it's funny to see Minnesota go into Dallas and get that win, but you don't want to mess around too much. I know what the record says with teams that are down 3-0, but I mean, you don't want to be taking a bunch of unnecessary injuries, bumps and bruises, whatever by extending the series.
No, I'm with you, but I do think Minnesota's going to win game 5, and I think Dallas finishes it off in game 6. It did get a little interesting there when Anthony Edwards fouled Luka on that three. I was like, oh boy, because if they ended up losing that game, like let's say Luka hits that free throw, all the good things that Anthony Edwards did in that game,
Oh
that
my
big
god.
shot, it all disappears if Dallas finds a way after him committing that foul. But didn't happen, and we've got some more basketball to watch, which is nice. My loser of the week. Thought about going with Gordon Hayward. So, you know, rewind to the player exit interviews. He had some interesting things to say. Some would say the man's a little delusional. Sam Presti had his end of the year press conference, which lasted like 2.5 hours. And his quote about the Gordon Hayward trade, I missed on that. That's on me, but I'm learning, trying to learn this team. He also added, I don't think I read that one perfect. Sam Presti is about the most professional person you'll ever meet. That is that is Sam Presti's version of saying beat it, nerd.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, what's the deal with Gordon
And then Gordon
Hayward?
Hayward's wife is like chiming in on social
Yeah.
media. And that whole situation has gotten very weird. But I felt like that was Sam Presti in the most professional way possible saying, forget you, dude. Get lost. Like, this is not, you did not handle this professionally like I anticipated. And I don't know. You don't hear Presti say stuff about players like that very often.
No, you don't. I mean,
Maybe
that's
ever.
what's so curious. I guess I don't know what Gordon Hayward expected out of the whole situation. I don't know the dynamics there, but it's been awful strange.
Very strange. But my loser of the week, the Indiana Pacers. Another fourth quarter lead blown, and the series is over. Ted, they had a fourth quarter lead in 3 of the 4 games. They were up 3 with the ball with 9 seconds to go in game 1, lost. Up 8 with 2.5 minutes to go in game 3, lost. We're up 18 in the second half, and we're up 8 with 5.5 minutes to go in the game in game 4. And what they do, Ted, they lost.
Mm.
Now, credit to the Boston Celtics. You play 4 quarters, you got to finish games. And that's exactly what they did. Tyrese Halliburton missing game 3 and game 4. That's always going to be a what if for this series. But this is right where we all expected the Boston Celtics to be. They've been the best team in the league. You look at their records, just so much better than everyone else's. But Ted, no one cares what they did in the Eastern Conference.
No.
This is pretty much where we're at with the Celtics. They either win a title and they're celebrated, or they lose a title and everyone says, what's wrong with this team? They can't get it done. What's wrong with Tatum and Brown? Maybe we'll revisit the, hey, do you have to break them up conversation? But that's just kind of where they're at with the success that they've had with Tatum and Brown. It's like, hey, it's not fair, but it's title or bust.
Well, you could understand to a degree if they're in the finals against like someone like Denver, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But this year, there's not going to be any excuse. Dallas, even if Minnesota were to somehow come back and win it all, like it's the same thing for the Celtics. Like they're going to be a favorite, and if they don't pull it off, like this is going to be their best chance, I guess is the better way to put it.
No doubt. I mean, especially they've gotten some really good injury luck on their way to the finals. Now they had the Porzingis thing, and we'll see how does he factor in to the NBA Finals. Does he make a triumphant return in Game 1? I don't know. That thing has stayed pretty quiet, but I'm excited to see what they look like. I was I don't Jaylen Brown is such an interesting player, and the way that people talk about him has always been a little confusing to me. So I was excited that he won Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and I loved how shocked he was when he won it. The look on his face was priceless. But I don't know. I'm really interested to see what they look like in the NBA Finals because they're gonna be
Was it
favored.
was it 2 years ago where he looked horrible in the finals?
Where his left hand just stopped working.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it became a big talking point. Do you need to split him up? The whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of has hung over them for a little bit, but hey, you got a chance to put all that behind you. We'll see.
I I don't know if it's fair, but Boston Celtics will solely be judged on what they do in the NBA Finals with what their path was to the finals. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, although gotta wait a little bit.
It's gonna be
Appreciate
a
you,
while.
Timberwolves. At least I still have some basketball to watch. I appreciate you guys.